It's grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light. Go to the book of 2 Corinthians. We're going to start at chapter 10. Second Corinthians chapter 10. Now, if you've read the book of Ecclesiastes, any of you members of the little flock, if you've read it, then you know the phrase, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. All that you do under the sun is vain. It's a waste of time. It's vanity, he called it. So my question to you is, what are you doing today that's not vain? What are you going to do today that actually matters? Well, actually, it's doing the will of the Father. How many human beings, because of their free will, choose not to do the will of the Father? Many. As we read, wide is the path that leads to destruction, and many there be which go therein. But straight and narrow is the path that leads to life, and few there be that find it. So there are only two, like I've always said, little flock. I've always told you that there are two worlds, two choices, two men, whatever you want to call it. Esau, Jacob, Cain, Abel. There's a choice to be made. You see it? One is the wide path. One is the narrow. So out of Cain and Abel, which path is which? Out of Esau and Jacob, which path is which? It's easy to be understood. So those two worlds, the carnal and the spiritual, as we read in Ecclesiastes, everything is vain, and it vexation to my spirit. See the two worlds? One vexes the other one. To be carnally minded vexes your spiritual life and your spiritual mind, as we read. Because if you're carnally minded, then all the work that you seek to do will be which is done under the sun, which we know is vanity and a waste of time. And there is no profit in it. And those that labor do indeed labor in vain, as the scripture hath said. So it's a bunch of people that believe they're wise, a bunch of people that believe they're smart, but yet they're laboring in vain every day. So what would you call a man who labors in vain every day? In other words, what would you call a man who does something sweating by his brow every day to do it, but it doesn't actually benefit him at all to do it? What would you call him? Would you call him free? Would you call him satisfied and happy? Would you call him wise? So then how come you call yourself wise when you labor in vain every day? Why do you think you're wise when you do something that's vexation to your spiritual life every day? Why do you think you're smart? Why do you think you're satisfied? All the things I asked you about that man who labors in vain. Why do you think you're somehow different from him if you're doing the same thing that he does? Because anybody who says they serve God, then that means you do the work that God hath for you to do. Correct? That's what makes you a servant. Correct? So if you do the things that are pleasing to God, or you do the will of the Father, now you're doing the valuable work. And now you're a family member to Christ, who said, my mother and my brother are those who do the will. See the work, the doing? Who do the will of the Father. For this is the whole duty of man. Duty means the work that you do. The whole duty of man is that you fear Abba and keep his commands. Did you know that was your whole duty of man? Are you a man? Man or woman, doesn't matter. Are you a man? Well then, what's your duty? And just ask people and look at the responses that you'll get from them. Ask them and see what they say. Because the only valuable thing that a man can do according to Abba is to fear him and keep his commands. So in other words, if you're a living sacrifice, then when Abba prompts you to make a move, then you will do that. because that's your duty, to do what he commanded you to do. And a lot of people just think his commandments are thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. Well then, wouldn't this be a command? Take no thought of what you shall eat or drink. Take no thought for tomorrow. But when you ask people about God's commands, do they even bring that kind of stuff up? No, they don't. No, they don't. Because they reject the Son. You see, thinking they have the Father. But the scriptures made that clear, that if you don't have the Son, then guess what? You don't have the Father either. So you do see how wide that gate is? How wide that path is? That leads to destruction, and there be many that go therein thinking that they're doing the right thing, like Yahusha said they think. You see that? So if you were to ask me right now, well, grandson, what are you doing? What labor do you do? I'm a thought catcher. That's why I'm the grandson of right thought. I catch other thoughts and bring them into subjection to me. That's what I do. That's my labor. See there, little flockulators? Now, why do I say I'm a thought catcher? That I chase down thoughts and I bring them in subjection to me. That's the labor that I do? That's the job you do, grandson? That's what I do. I chase down all other thoughts that exalt themselves against right thought. And I bring them in subjection to right thought. And I subdue them. That's what I do. Now we're going to read about it today. 2 Corinthians chapter 10. Start at verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. Stop. What did I say I do? I'm a thought catcher. I chase down thoughts. I wrap a rope around their ass and bring them down in subjection and put them under my boot. That's what I do. Well, he just said we don't war after the flesh. So give me some ideas of what is warring after the flesh. Warring after the flesh is fighting. A fist fight. Shooting a pistol or a gun. Have a sword and armor where I run across the battlefield to fight my enemies. You see? Obviously, that's warring after the flesh. I can give you many more examples, but I think you guys understand what I mean. That's not the warfare the grandson do. You see? He just made that clear. We don't war after the flesh. Even though I'm in the flesh. See what I'm saying to you, little flock? I'm in the flesh, but I don't war after the flesh. Watch this, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare. So when grandson said he's chasing down thoughts and chasing them down and bringing them down into submission, what kind of weapons is he using? Well, he says the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through love, to the pulling down of strongholds. See what I was describing to you earlier about what I do? I make war. I'm a soldier enlisted into a military to fight this battle. You see it? And the weapons that I use aren't carnal. If I'm chasing thoughts, what carnal weapon can I use to chase a thought with? You see what I'm saying to you today? So he says, but mighty. So the weapons that the grandson is using to do the work that he's doing, guess what about them? They're mighty through love to the pulling down of strongholds. Casting down imaginations. Where are imaginations taking place inside of you? In your mind or outside of your body? It's easy to be understood, isn't it? It's going down inside of you. So now, do you understand why my weapon is not carnal and why my war is not in the flesh? Because it's going down inside of me. And why wouldn't I wage war in there if Abba told me the kingdom of heaven is within you? So if his word told me that the kingdom of heaven is within me, then that's where I need to be paying attention to what's going on. Correct, little flock? But wide is the gate, see? Wide is the path, see? That lead to destruction, and many there be that go therein. So many people do not understand what I'm talking about the inner world. They don't go there. They're going outward. You see that there, little flesh? Little flock? Little flesh. Little flock? We're going to prove that here in this message. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of love. So did you hear what the grandson was telling you earlier about he's chasing thoughts? He's bringing them down with a rope down up under his foot. Doesn't the language that I'm speaking make perfect sense now with what you just heard coming out the word of God? Every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge. Where is your knowledge stored? Outside of your body or inside of it? I know you guys live in a world where you have an Xbox and you have a little memory card that you plug into the back of your Xbox via your USB, and you can save games and all kinds of information onto that hard drive, external hard drive. You hear the word external hard drive? Why is it called external? Because it means it's outside of the console. It's not inside of the console. The inside of the console has its own memory in there. But once it is filled and cannot add any more to it, you need an external hard drive. And once you do that, or an external memory card, once you do that, then you can save things to there. And through the console, reach into that box you got externally over there and grab some stuff out of it and bring it into itself. You ain't got nothing like that. You ain't got no external hard drive. You ain't got no external nothing. He said it's all internal, didn't he? Ain't that what he said? Mm-hmm. That's what he told us. Watch this. And bringing into captivity. Stop. You see what the grandson said? Grab that rope and threw that rope around that thought and dragged his ass down. Because he said we bring it into captivity, slavery, bondage. Where you think you going, thought? Get your ass back here. You ain't got no free reign to run through my body. You just don't. You have no free reign to impact anything that goes on inside of my body. I'm bringing your ass into captivity right now. See that there, little flock? What are we bringing into captivity? What does it say in verse 5? Verse 4. Excuse me. What does it say in verse 5? Casting down imaginations, every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of love, and bringing into captivity every what? Thought to the obedience of Christ. What did I just tell you guys about the labor that I'm doing? Now, I hope it makes even more sense why Abba say the grandson of right thought, y'all. Why I'm the one talking to you about the things that I'm talking to you about. You see what I'm saying to you? How it goes together like Legos, it always clicks. That's right. That's how the truth works, man. It's safe. It's what makes you feel safe. The truth does. It's what makes you feel secure. The truth. So every thought that comes into your house to try to give you a lie, to sway you away from your husband, which is the truth, you must bring it into subjection. You must cast it down. You must labor diligently to keep your garden pristine of any type of weed, thorns, or thistle. Make sense, little flock? Well, that's what we're doing. So where is the Garden of Eden? It's in your mind. Your mind is the Garden of Eden. You were cast out of rulership of your mind when you sinned, and you allowed some serpent to come in and usurp and rule there. And now you need to usurp him, kick him out of his throne, and there he find no place in heaven anymore. Bring the right thoughts into their proper place, kicking out vain imaginations and bringing down every stronghold that was ever in your mind, holding you back from being free. Because if you cannot be free unless you tear the stronghold down in your mind. Why? Because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, little flock. That is the catalyst for every event that you suffer, every hardship that you endure. The issues of life come forth from your heart. That's where it matters. So is that inside of you or outside of you? So the origin of all of the things that you experience outside of you come from within you, and you mean to tell me that the necessary work you do is on the outside of you? That's why many are going astray. That's why many are going down the wide path that lead to destruction. Ain't it obvious to understand that? Most people focus all of their thoughts and all of their energy on what the outside says, not on what the inside is saying. We know that from what Yahushua told us about all of those in his day. You paint the outside. You make the outside look good, but the inside toe up. You indeed outwardly appear righteous unto men, but inwardly, he kept saying, but inwardly. But they couldn't see the inward because they was too focused on the outward. That's the path that leads you to destruction, outward. How can a person say, I've done this for you, done this for you, done this for you, and Yahushua say, I don't know you, unless they had done works outwardly, but did not do the works inwardly? They denied the weightier matters. Doesn't it make sense then? Or else, how could you say, I did this and I did this? No, you made it look like you were doing that, but you didn't do it out of love, so then you didn't do anything. See it there, little flockulators? That's why you must bring every thought unto obedience to Christ. I don't know if you can hear that. So is Christ the right thought or is Christ the wrong thought concerning a thing? Do you see? Right then. All right. Every thought to the obedience of Christ, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. Look at verse 7. Do you look on things after outward appearance? Stop. Why do you think that little sentence was thrown in there right after what he just said? Same reason I elaborated on it when I was reading the scripture. The same reason. That's the wide gate, the wide path that lead to destruction. Outward appearances. That's why he asked, are y'all judging outward appearance? Because the moment that you do that, then you're judging as the devil judges. So then who's your God? That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. But most people don't seem to get it nor care. They don't seem to care about the importance of when you judge something outwardly, you're proving who your daddy is. Yahushua was telling them that. He says, you hypocrites, you do good things outwardly. You are a whited sepulcher, which indeed outwardly appear righteous and beautiful, but indeed are inside full of dead men's bones. Nothing worth of value is in there. Nothing. Proving what mind is leading you to do what you're doing, to make it appear good. There's one individual who would like you doing that, and that's called Satan. So then if you end up doing it, then you're doing Satan's works. You do things to make it look good. Not because it is good, you do it to make it look good. You do it to impress people. You do it to make it appear righteous unto men. That's what he said. He never said, you do indeed appear righteous unto God. He didn't say that. But when y'all hear the part where he says, you do indeed appear righteous, y'all stop right there and say, see? I knew what I was doing was right. I don't have to read anymore on that page. I know what I'm doing is the right thing. Even Christ said I look righteous before men. Indeed I do. See? Okay, but did you read the next passage, nigga, or you just gonna stop right there? Well, if you gonna stop right there, I'm gonna go ahead and do what my job is, which is right thought, and bring your ass into captivity to me, because I'm gonna smash your ass with the right thoughts of this next thing I'm about to tell you right now, since you wanted to skip over it. You indeed appear righteous unto men. I don't need to say anything else. I've sliced your ass in half right there, and now you're sliding down the top half of your body. The upper half of your torso is sliding off the bottom half of your body because you didn't want to listen and you wanted to be prideful and think you knew something. See what I mean about bringing it to subjection? You think you know something, I'm coming to get you. Snatch. Get your ass down under my boot. You think you know something? Snatch. Get your ass up under my boot, because this is right thought. And I just proved to you through the scriptures I read to you that that's what right thought goes about doing. And so since Yahushua prayed that let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven, and then he told me that the heavenly place that I'm searching for is within me, then I knew that once I conquered all of the wrong thoughts within me, now I have to do the part where he says, let your will be done on earth. So now that means that I openly speak the words that have now conquered over my internal being. All the wrong thoughts and wrong feelings associated with the devil have been conquered over Death, where is your sting? We have conquered the last enemy, which is the carnal mind, which is death. We're going to get into that and prove that to anybody who denies that's true. And once you conquer inwardly, then you conquer outwardly, because Yahushua said, if you clean the inside of the cup, then the outside shall be clean damn also. But what is everybody doing? We just told you they're focusing on cleaning the outside of the cup and then denying the weightier matters of cleaning the inside of the cup. So therefore, they remain unclean and they remain in their filth and not able to help any damn body because they themselves are not helped. So then how can you help somebody if you ain't helped? Well, that would be called a hypocrite. Now let's look and see if Yahushua was calling them same people I'm telling y'all about hypocrites. Yes, he was. So then there's no discrepancy between me and Yahushua because all of my thoughts have been made subject to who? Having a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. Now, did that scripture make sense of what y'all just heard out of me? That was verse 6, by the way. That's the readiness to revenge all disobedience, to pay the disobedient thoughts back by telling them the right thoughts. That's how you get revenge. I don't know how you guys thought you were going to get it. They lied to you. So what is your revenge? The truth is, it's not a lie. Two wrongs ain't going to make it right. He said overcome evil with good. So what's good, a lie or the truth? The truth is. So when they lie, what do you overcome them with? The truth. That's the revenge that he's talking about there. When your obedience has been fulfilled, that means it's been done in you. And once it's done in you, then it will shall be done outside of you. If you're clean in here, then you're going to clean out there. That's just the way that it is. Isn't that what he said? Now I'm cleaning the out there because the in here has already been cleaned. See what I'm saying to you? Because Yahushua told me to. I've told you I keep his commands. He said clean the inside of the cup. I received that as a command. What do you receive it as? A suggestion? Some help? An idea? Is that what you think? Or a command? All right. He says, do you look on things after the outward appearance? If any man trust to himself that he is Christ, let him of himself think this again, that as he is Christ, even so are we Christ. See that? They're little flockulators. So a lot of people that say that they are Christ, they don't believe that a man like me is because of my peculiarity. Well, he says you're a peculiar people. So then which one is really the follower? The plain, normal, common man that you are? Or the peculiar, strange, out-of-the-box black sheep that I am? All right. Go to Romans. Go to Romans chapter 8. Romans chapter 8, verse 1. For there is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Christ Yahushua, who walk not after the flesh, but after the what? The Spirit. And you see what I'm saying to you, little flock? So what is the liberty that you have received? What is the freedom that the truth gives to you? It says the truth makes you free. So the truth, which is your weapon of revenge, what has it made you free from? From condemnation. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Of course you're free from condemnation if you are thinking right, because as a man thinks, so is he. So what caused him to be condemned? His thinking that he is. That's what caused him to be condemned. His thinking. But he has now been transformed by the renewing of his mind. And if his mind has been transformed, then are his thoughts the same? Well, if his thoughts aren't the same, then he can't be the same man that he once was, because as a man thinks, so is he. He can only stay the same if he thinks the same. So if you want to liberate a man from an experience that he is experiencing, what must you do? Look at how everybody wants to prescribe a pill. People want to prescribe some type of drink or a tincture or something from outside that you can put into the body that will heal the body. Instead of looking right there in the word of God that says, wait a minute. If Christ liberate me from wrong thought and gives me right thought, and I subject myself to his thoughts, bringing all my thoughts into captivity unto Christ, giving it all to him and letting him tell me the right thoughts, then I can never be condemned because I'm thinking what he tells me to think. And if he tells me what to think, or as he said, the Spirit lead me, then I cannot sin. You see it? I can't. So then I am now freed from the thought that I am condemned. How could I be condemned if I'm sinless? And that all happened because Christ baptized my mind and gave me a new mind. As he said, new wineskin cannot receive, an old wineskin cannot receive new wine. So that proving to you that wineskin got to be changed. The wine is information or thoughts. My thoughts are higher than your thoughts. So the old wine is not as high. It don't make you as high as the new wine does, because the new wine comes from the most high source. So then drink this blood, which is me, which is love. And if you drink this and become one with love, then your thoughts are loving, which are the most powerful thoughts. You are what you think. So then if you're thinking the most powerful thoughts, then what the hell that mean you is? Most people don't believe that. That's why they won't say it right now. That's why they won't say it. No. This guy's talking crazy. You see, he's talking crazy. Okay, well then that means that you still got condemnation. I don't. I know I ain't. Yahushua said I don't judge nobody. So why would I think he judges me for what I do? Why would I think that he does if he said he don't? It's because I've accepted it and you haven't. That's all that it means. Continuing. Watch this. So we walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. See the two worlds I told you about? So that you can either walk by the flesh or the carnal mind, and what it tells you it is, which is Satan. Look at that. Your wife, you walked in the room and she was on her phone. She turned to the side right there. Do you know what that means? Look at Satan. Do you know what that means? Look at you. Look at fear. No. What does it mean, Satan? It means she's cheating on you. But look at your ass. Oh God. Okay, I'm going to catch her ass. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to catch her. Hey, let me see your phone right now. Snatching it out of her hand and shit. Not going to get into a fight. All because you listened to that damn thought Satan gave you. You didn't listen to the spirit. You were not spirit-led, but carnally led. Ah, boy. You hear that there? All right. For the law of the spirit of life in Christ Yahushua have made me free, like I told y'all, from the law of sin and death. See? Hey, man, you stole. You're going to die. See how they come together? You stole, you're going to die. Hey, man, you committed adultery. You're going to die. See what I keep telling you guys here? Hey, man, you coveted, man. You're going to die. Hey, man. Same thing they were doing in Yahushua. Hey, man, you did this, man. It's wrong. See, it's the same damn thing. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, God sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, condemned sin in the flesh. He overcame it. He showed us how to overcome sin. What is sin? Sin is the carnal mind. You ask a bunch of legalistic people, what is sin? They're going to say, sin is the transgression of the law. Because that's what they read, and that's what they think. You see? Sin is transgression of the law. Well, if you're carnally minded, can you keep the law of God? Look how I slice and dice these niggas. That's what I'm saying. They think they get... See, those people that talk like that, they think they have Christ and I don't. But look at how I'm asking you this question I'm asking you. If you're carnally minded, my nigga, can you keep God's law? The person has to answer no. And when they answer no, then I'm going to tell you, then shouldn't my concern be to rid you from your carnal mind and baptize you into the Spirit? Isn't that what it should be that I should be doing? Or should I just be rattling off lists of commands to you that you never can receive as long as you're in the carnal mind? There's no need in me telling you what the law states as long as you're in the carnal mind. Is there? Well, If you think there is, we're going to slice and dice your little ass right in half because I'm going to keep on reading these scriptures here. You hear the sharpening of the blade that I told you before? I sharpen it like this because I'm about to swing it. Watch me swing through. Watch me. That the righteousness of the law, verse 4, might be fulfilled in us. Righteousness means right thinking. So the right thinking concerning what you have read is fulfilled in us. See what I'm trying to say? How come? I'm going to read it to you. For the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who do what? Who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. Stop. Did the grandson just clarify what he said? Did he slice and dice again? And I'm going to slice down some more to the marrow. I'm just got the blade. I've cut down to the bone. I'm still getting ready to swing through that. I just wanted to make sure you can see that I'm cutting through down to your bone. I'm on the bone now and I'm about to slice through that part. So we're going to keep on reading so I can bring the blade through that bone and expose the marrow of it. Okay? Watch this. Who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. They mind the things of the Spirit. You see? For to be carnally minded is what? Death. So I'm going to ask you niggas one more damn time. Can you keep God's law if you're carnally minded? Let's see. But to be spiritually minded, verse 6, is life and peace. But the carnal mind, the carnal what, y'all? The carnal mind, verse 7, is what? Enmity against God. Watch, here comes the slice through the marrow. For it is not subject to the what? The law of love. Neither indeed can be. Wipe yourself off. You're bleeding. Wipe yourself off. Take this napkin and wipe your shit because you're bleeding. See what I'm saying, little flock? You see how you do this? This is what I'm here for. To be an example, to show you how to overcome. You see that there? Because the purpose of this whole thing that I'm doing today is to show you how to overcome, to show you the valuable work, to show you the profitable thing to do. Many people can do all kinds of fleshly things that I'm not doing. They can fly here and fly there and pay for this and pay for that and buy all kinds of land and wear all kinds of fancy clothes. And they think because they do all of that, that they're better than someone who can do what I'm doing. Yet they can't do shit that I'm doing. And I can do what you're doing. I just choose not to, because if I do what you're doing, then I'm led by the red, which means I'm going to end up dead, as we just read, because the carnal mind is death. But if I'm spiritually minded, then I mind the things of the Spirit. And what does the Spirit say? Take no thought of what you eat. Take no thought of what you drink. Take no thought of what you put on. Take no thought for your life. Take no thought for tomorrow. That's a lot of no thinking that he told me to do. So I might as well just stop thinking. That's otherwise, he said, take no thought for your life. So I may as well just stop thinking and let him think for me. And if I do that, then I'm thinking right. I'm the grandson of right thought because I done did that. Somebody probably looking out their window. They see this guy on the corner talking, walking up and down the street looking like me. They're probably like, what the hell is he doing? Why he walking like that? Why he walk like that? Because I can slice and dice like this. That's why. All right? Watch this here. So he says, if you're carnally minded, you can't do the law of God. You can't be subject to it at all. So then I'm going to ask all you guys again. Can you keep the law of God if you're carnally minded? No. So then what do you need to do to be able to even keep the law of God? You have to be baptized. You have to have a renewing of your mind, the washing away with the word of the old mind. You are now clean through the word that I have spoken unto you. Isn't that what he said? what cleansing is. Baptism. So the word that Christ speaks to you baptizes your mind of all the other unclean things that have been in there. And it gives you the precious, clean, right thought that you need to utilize to be so that you can be led by the Spirit. See how easy that is to understand that? Very easy to me. All right. Watch this here, little flock. Now I've sliced down all the way through. I'm turning the blade. Well, I don't need to turn it. I'm just going to swing it right back up. So now I'm coming up between the legs, up through the guts, right up through to the top, through the brain. All right? Watch. So then, verse 8, they that are in the flesh, fleshly minded people, cannot please God. So then I don't need you to answer my questions no more. See what I'm saying to you? I don't need you to answer it because God gonna answer it for me. Niggas lie. Ain't that what he said? Men lie. But God don't lie. God already told me the answer to the question. I ask you to see if you're going to tell me the truth or if you're going to lie. And most of you niggas lie when I ask you them kind of questions. So who that mean your daddy is? Oh, you generation of vipers. You are children of your father, who is a liar and a murderer and abode not in the truth, for there is no truth in him. For when he speaketh a lie, for he is the father of it. And you're telling me that the grandson don't know what he's talking about right now? You're crazy, nigga. Do you judge outward appearance? That's what you're looking at? Then you can't see this bright burning flame that's causing this message to come forth. Do you think this is a carnally led message or a spiritually led one? What do you think? Now, continuing. So then they are in the flesh, cannot please God. That damn simple. But you, look how he keeps separating the two worlds I keep telling you about. But you are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. See, like the grandson said. If so be that the spirit of Abba dwelleth where? In. See how it ain't about the outside world? Like I told you, the spirit of God dwelleth in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Christ, then he is none of his. Then he ain't Christ. Isn't that what Christ said? You are of your father. I come to reveal my father. You are of yours. Not only am I revealing who my father is, but I'm also not leaving you niggas a cloak for your sin. I'm going to also expose who your father is, because that's just what the truth do. It ain't about the feelings. So why get all up in them? That's why I love being spirit-led. See, because the spirit lead me to say what I do by its promptings. Therefore, I don't have an idea of whether it's good or bad or whether it's right or wrong, because I assume that it is because the spirit who's doing it. So then it automatically is. I don't need to think no more. See what I'm saying to you little flockulators, or do you not? Hopefully you're one of the few who can see it, or you're going to miss out on this goodness. All right? And if Christ be in you, outside of you or in you? In you. So Christ, Yahusha, is where? In. That takes faith to believe that. The ones who judge by sight are looking and saying, he'll come soon. He'll be here eventually. One of these days he'll finally get here, and then we'll see him and we'll rejoice in. Carnally led. See? You can't please God. Nigga, shut your ass up. Christ is inside of me. So then why would I be looking up in the sky like you? I ain't gonna be, because we different. See that there? We ain't in the same world. So let's continue. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Christ, he is none of his. And if Christ be in you, the body is dead because of sin. So then when you're living in your body and the truth of Christ has been revealed to you, then you die to your carnal nature. You die to your carnal flesh body and what it wants and desires. You are now dead to it because it can only sin. That's what we just read. But you've been made free from sin. If you only knew that sin was the carnal mind that you need to be freed from. I just proved it to you. While people are saying it's this and it's that and sinning is this and sinning is that, I would say as long as you're in the carnal mind, then you're in death, which is sin if you ask me. What would you say? The body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness. Your spirit is alive because of right thought. See how I'm called the grandson of right thought? And see how I told y'all I'm the spirit? I'm not screwing around. I'm not trying to make you guys feel crazy in saying that. You probably will, because you're going to think his flesh and blood body is what he's talking about. My flesh and blood body is dead. It is only animated by a spirit that is within it. Why is this so hard for you guys to understand when you go to funerals all the damn time? You mean to tell me you can't tell that as long as there's no spirit in that body ain't shit worth a fuck? You can't see it? So when a body gets animated, you still focus on it and think that it's the power. You didn't realize that it didn't have any power until the spirit activated it and plugged it in to the source. You didn't notice that? So then where's the value? Who is the person? It's the spirit that's within. But carnally minded people do not believe that. They think this flesh and blood body is who they are. And so they are alive to the flesh and dead to the spirit. But we are alive in the spirit, dead to the flesh. We just read it. We just read it. Right? But if the spirit of him that raised up Yahusha from the dead dwelleth in you, he that raised up Christ from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his what? Spirit that dwelleth in you. Told you. That's what animate the body, is the spirit, the breath. Once the breath leaves the body is no longer animate. It is no value to it anymore. It's nothing. It's a shell or a husk. You've ever seen a cicada? Cicada will land on the wall, smack, and it will sit there until it takes the skin off of itself and comes out of that shell that it once was its body. It comes out of there and it flies away. But when you look on the wall there, it still looks like a cicada is sitting there. It's his old form. It's his old shell that he was once in. So am I supposed to sit there and look at that cicada shell on the wall and say, hey, look at this cicada here. Look at him. Watch out. He may bite you or do something or make a sound. That's how stupid humans look when they're looking at a dead body, thinking that that dead body is the cicada. The cicada didn't flew the fuck away. He way over there on the other side of the yard. Why are you looking at his shell right here thinking that's his body? Y'all go walking again because y'all don't know the truth. Obviously. I didn't say ovulating. I said obviously. All right, now watch. For if you live after the flesh, verse 12. Verse 12. All right, by his spirit that dwelleth in you. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors, not to the flesh, to live after the flesh. For if you live after the flesh, you shall what? So then if you're in the flesh, which means the carnal mind, that's what the flesh means. If you are in the flesh, then can you please God? Can you keep his commandments? Can you do his law? Can you do anything that's good as far as he's concerned? No. No, you can't. For if you live after the flesh, you shall die. But if you through the spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, you shall live. Mortify means kill. So if you through the power of the spirit kill off the desires of the flesh, like I've been telling you guys, where Satan is sitting on your belly, which means your appetite for the things you desire is where he's at, whispering in your ear, telling you, don't you want this? Don't you want that? He's the one who said, hey, your wife turned her back when she was holding her phone. That means she's cheating. Nigga, you don't know that's true, but you are the father of lies. So you'll whisper anything. He doesn't care. He will say anything he think will work. And if you fall for it, now he's your God. So then you can't please the Father. That damn simple. For as many, okay, but if you shall through the Spirit mortify the deeds of the body, you shall live. Ah, boy. For as many as are led by the Spirit of love, they are the sons of love. For you have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear. Stop. So there's only two worlds, I told you. So there's love and there's fear. Is that not what the grandson has always told you here at the School of Marvelous Life? Well, in case you didn't hear me say it, I'll say it one more time for the little flock. Perfect love casts out fear. Therefore, if you have fear in your life and you want to cast it out, then you need to receive perfect love. Who is perfect love? Well, Yahushua said, I come to reveal the Father, and the Father is written, God is love. So if Christ revealed love to us, then he revealed love perfectly. And the only way you will love perfectly is you must die to your carnal mind. Your carnal mind is too selfish to love. Your carnal mind cannot please God because God's will is that you do unto others as you would have them do unto you. When you're selfish, you can't do shit for another. You can't. So therefore you can't please God because you're selfish. But y'all think it's something else. See what I'm trying to say? You see? Y'all ain't spiritually led if you think it's something else. For you have not received the spirit of bondage, slavery, again to fear, but you have received the spirit of adoption whereby we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of love. And if children, then heirs, heirs of love, and joint heirs with Christ. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may also be glorified together. So also means plus or and. So people want to be glorified with Christ. But it said also, you must suffer. What is the suffering that you do? They're being ridiculed by the flesh mind. They're being hated and rejected by the flesh mind. And the flesh mind uses human beings. See? So these human beings that fight war with flesh might fight against your body. They may hurt you, hurl things at you, hate, mad, want to kill you, and do everything they did to Yahusha. But he showed what you're supposed to do when they do that. Just be quiet. When they bear false witness, you just be quiet. When they put a crown of thorns on your head, you just be quiet. When they beat you with a rod, you just be quiet. When they scourge you with a whip, you just be quiet. When they put a robe around you and mock you and say, "Hail, King of the Jews," you just be quiet. When they say, "Who do you make yourself?" you just be quiet. I don't engage in flesh shit. I'm spirit. So when y'all get spirit, then we can talk. But as long as you as a carnal mind, we can't talk. Because we got enmity and beef. See how that working, little flock of ladies? See how it working? All right. For I reckon that the suffering, so I mentioned the suffering again, the ones I just described to you. In this world you shall have tribulation, but fear not, for I have overcome the world. So while you're in the flesh, see, which is the first world, I've already told you that. That's the world Christ was saying when he said, "Fear not, for I have overcome the world." This is also the same world when he said, "I pray for these, I pray not for the world of flesh." Why would I pray for the carnal mind to live, the carnal mind to succeed? Why would I pray for the flesh to be anything? I don't want it to be. I want it to be destroyed and flushed down the toilet. Like it said, he's finally been swallowed up in victory. Swallow his ass on up then. See what I'm saying to you, little populators? For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory, which is the other thing we read about that we're also going to have to experience. So we focus on the suffering so much that we don't focus on the glory that's to come in the end. But he says, keep the end of thy faith. See it? Stay in the state of being that you will feel at the end. Well, at the end, I'll be celebrating. At the end, I'll be jumping up and down saying, hip, hip, hooray, I've done it, I've overcome, and I've made it. So then feel that today. And that will overcome all the suffering that I'm presently suffering. It will keep me to the very end. Well, let's just keep reading and see, little flockulators. For the earnest expectation with the glory which shall be revealed in us, see. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of love. For the creature was made subject to vanity, pointless shit. It's like I told you, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subjected the same in hope. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of love. For we know that the whole creation groaneth, travaileth in pain together until now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit. You see that there? Waiting for the adoption, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. And I just described that earlier. You have to stay in the end of your faith. You're looking at the middle of the fight. Even though Abba knows you will be champion, holding the championship belt up at the end. But in the middle of the 6th round, you got clocked. And when you got clocked, You saw stars and deadgum birds flying around your head, and you had a choice to make when those birds came a tweedling. You could have said, uh-oh, I'm in fear of losing. Or you could have said, it's okay, this is just another thing I have to overcome to be victorious since I am already. Look at the two different mindsets. Which one looks like a fool? The carnally minded would say, hey, you got punched. Hold him. Hold on for dear life. Do something, man. Oh, shit. Oh, what about all the money I put on the bet? Oh, shit. We're going to get our asses beat, man. Come on, fight. What does that man hope to get, he said? He hoped to win his bet. Well, in order for him to win his bet, you got to win the fight. But look at him stressing, scared because you got clocked. He didn't believe in you. He didn't believe you were an overcomer. If just because you got clocked and staggered, that means you lost. No, it don't mean shit because the end is still the same. That's what I'm telling you all, little flock. That's how you got to live your life. You're going to get clocked. Man, this is boxing. This is war, as we just read. You're going to get clocked and stars and birds are going to grow around your shit. Ask Floyd Mayweather. Shit. Ask Floyd. Defensive technician. I mean, this dude's one of the best defensive boxers we've ever seen. Nigga, hard as hell to hit this guy. But it ain't impossible. And though it was hard as hell, he trained and got his defense on point, the nigga still got clocked by Shane Mosley to the point where he was staggering, seeing birds and shit. In that right. But who won the fight between Shane Mosley and Floyd Mayweather? Oh my goodness gracious, guys. Floyd did. He won it with ease. But if you were focusing on that moment when he got clocked and almost went down, you're one of those fleshly minded people that say, man, Floyd almost lost. Floyd almost. Oh, we don't give a shit about almost. Matter of fact, it make it more exciting if it's almost. But he still wins. That's your story. That's the suffering you going through. When you got clocked by Shane Mosley, Floyd, and your shit got rained. And then you grabbed onto Shane and said, you're going to have to kill me in order to beat me. So what happened with Job? He didn't kill him. He couldn't kill him. But he said, you can't. So Job grabbed on to Satan and said, you're going to have to kill me if you want to beat me. Because I ain't giving up my spot as champion, my nigga. I ain't going to curse God's name. But blessed be the name of I am. I am a champion. I am a winner. Despite what you're doing, despite these stars and these birds, I won. I am winning. So what are you talking about? Do y'all see what I'm saying, little flock of lairs, or do you see? Do you see? All right. All right, watch this. For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doth he yet hope for it? See what I'm saying? Substance of the thing hoped for, evidence not seen. That's faith. But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. So when you got your bell rung, you just patiently got quiet and waited. You didn't say anything. Told you like Yahusha didn't. When adversity hit, you just get quiet. You go in within. You encourage yourself within, because nothing you can do without is going to help you. It's what you do within going to help you in that moment. I'm safe. I'm good. I'm strong. I'm prepared for this. That's what you're doing on the inside. No one can see you doing that. That's the beauty of it. You see? Watch this. But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmity. Ding! Infirmity is I got stars and birds around my shit, but the Spirit about to help me. I'm safe. I am holding up the championship belt right now. I don't know what this guy thought he was doing with that right hook. I don't know what he thought he was doing. That's the Spirit helping you. See? That's the Spirit helping you. In your infirmity, what you're looking at, what you feel, what you're experiencing with your senses. Your Spirit will help you fight against that to tell you the truth and keep your boat ruddered instead of topsy-turvy and flipping over because of the wind and the waves you're experiencing. Take no thought for the wind and the waves. See? For we know not what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit itself. See, we don't know to say that when we get punched, when we get hit on the battlefield. We don't know to say, I'm safe. That's not natural. That's not carnal. That's spiritual to say that. So we don't know what to say. Okay, oh God, I'm nervous. I'm scared. Oh shit, I'm dizzy. He's going to beat me. That's the carnal mind telling you what to say. That's not the right way to pray. So let the Spirit intercede. Intercede means come in between you and help what you're trying to say. Because if you say it the way your carnal mind telling you to say it, you'll die. We just read that. You'll lose the fight. He'll beat you. So you got to let Yahushua come in and tell you what to say. Intercede on your behalf. Ain't that clear and easy and obvious to be understood, there little flock of laters? Watch this, watch. For we know not what we should pray for as we ought. See, we don't know what to do with the carnal mind. The one can't tell us what to say. But the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. It's saying things that your mouth just can't say. I would consider that to be the pure language that Abba said he would return to us. Not any carnal thing you can hear with your carnal ears and eyes. Why do you need a carnal language if you're going to not have a carnal body? But you don't have new eyes and new ears. So the pure language must be spiritual, because there's a new ears and new eyes and new wineskin that Christ said you must be. Watch this. And he that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of love. See that there, little flocko laters. See? All right. Go down to verse 34. Who is he that condemneth? Like I said to you earlier, there is no condemnation now. See? So who is he that condemneth? It is Christ that died, yea, rather, that is risen again, who is even at the right hand of El, who also, who is at the right hand of El. Okay, we're going to go to verse 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation, distress, persecution, famine, nakedness, peril, sword? As it is written, for your sake we are killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter. No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, principalities, powers, things present, things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any creature shall be able to separate us from the love of El, which is in Christ Yahushua, our Adonai. So what you guys got to say about this message that I've given you today? Valuable or not? Useful or not? Well, if the Bible says that if you don't listen to this message that the grandson of right thought gave you and believe that it is valuable and utilize it, then you'll die. Because you only got one of two choices, to either live or die, right? And what will cause you to live? The stuff the grandson of right thought was saying to you today. What will cause you to die? Believing that what the grandson of right thought told you today is invaluable. Oh man, that guy ain't talking nothing valuable to me. Yeah. I need something I can use in the flesh, man. Hell with this valuable spirit. It ain't gonna do me no good. It ain't gonna do you no good, but you need it to live. That would be like a fleshly minded person saying they don't need water and they don't need food. Would you believe them if they said that? Would you believe that? Oh, you don't need water. I don't need food to live. I don't need any of that. I don't need it. Okay, sure. That's how we be spiritually looking at people that say they don't need spiritual things. We be like, okay, well, when you get dehydrated and when a famine strikes, then what are you going to do? Because you must not have read the word of God that said there's going to be a famine. There's going to be a drought, but not of water and not of food. See what I mean? So do you see what I'm saying? There is a certain type of drought and famine that carnal-minded people can't see. They think they're in a good case because they have plenty of physical food and drink. That ain't the drought and famine Abba was telling you about. But you got to have the spiritual mind to understand it, because God is a spirit. So the things he speaks cannot be understood by the carnal mind. It can't please God. Anything else I need to say about the carnal mind to make you understand that? You see? It's not subject to God. So then that means, do it ever listen to God? Can it listen to God? No. So then the words that God speak, can they be carnally understood? No. For my words are spirit and they are life. See how spirit and life always come together? So then you have to decide how you hearing my words today. Do you think this message that I gave you today and this labor that I did today was carnal? Or do you think it's spiritual? If you come to find out that it is indeed spiritual, well then what does that mean? I must feel for you. Love. Siloam Mr.